Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Red alert in India's southern states of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry as Cyclone Ditwah inches closer after battering Sri Lanka. India carries out Operation Sagar Bandhu to help. Global airlines race to fix Airbus jets to avert chaos across Asia and Europe. Air India completes reset on over 90% of its operating A320 family aircraft. U.S. reports little disruption. U.S. Navy vehicles patrolled southern Puerto Rico amid Venezuela tensions. Trump says Venezuelan airspace should be considered closed. South American country describes it as colonialist threat. U.S. Secretary of State and other top officials to meet Ukrainian delegation in Florida on Sunday to discuss Ukraine peace deal. President Zelensky warns of most difficult moment in history. And India eyes ODI redemption versus South Africa. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli boost batting lineup. As Cyclone Ditwah edges closer to landfall, states across the region are on high alert, bracing for impact while rushing to safeguard lives and infrastructure. Heavy rains continue to lash Tamil Nadu as IMD issued a red alert for 3 districts and an orange alert for 7 others, warning of intense weather conditions over the next few days. Authorities have scaled up rescue and relief preparedness ahead of the landfall. Here's more in the report.
Cyclone Ditwah left behind catastrophic destruction in Sri Lanka. The system is now intensifying over the sea and now heads towards southern India, with landfall expected by early November 30. The impact zone is bracing for very heavy rainfall, gale force winds and a high risk of urban flooding.
The cyclone storm will continue to move north-northwestwards and reach near North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry coast by 30th early morning. Therefore, under its influence, already the rainfall has commenced along the coastal Tamil Nadu. We are expecting heavy to extremely heavy rainfall at a few places over Tamil Nadu and South Andhra Pradesh, Puducherry also. And this rainfall can lead to localized inundation, flooding.
In Tamil Nadu, the cyclone has already unleashed relentless rain across several districts. The IMD has issued a red alert for 3 districts and an orange alert for 7. Air travel has been hit hard. 54 flights cancelled across the state as weather worsens. Tamil Nadu is now in full preparedness mode with 6,000 relief camps already set up, and 28 teams from the NDRF and State Disaster Response Force have been deployed across vulnerable regions.
Within Tamil Nadu, we have very close coordination with the state authorities, and our teams are deployed. The officers are there on team, and the very close coordination is being maintained with the IMD, also the regional IMD, the national IMD, and we are closely monitoring the situation along with the central agencies like NDMA, MHA, and of course the PMO.
Neighboring Andhra Pradesh also braces for 4 consecutive days of heavy rain from November 30 to December 3, with strong winds expected along coastal districts.
Rains will increase, especially over the coastal districts of Andhra Pradesh, especially over south coastal Andhra Pradesh. Light to moderate rain likely at many places on the first day, and at the most places on the second and third days, and at a few places on the 4th, 5th and 6th days. And it will gradually decrease and cause 1 or 2 places over the south coastal Andhra Pradesh on the 7th day.
And in Puducherry, a red alert is in place. Authorities have urged people to avoid stepping out. Fishermen have been warned not to venture into the sea. and a 60-member rescue team from Arakonam is already on the ground. Schools and colleges have also been shut. As Cyclone Ditwah barrels towards India's southern coast, states across the region are on high alert, racing against time to minimize damage and keep people safe. Bureau Report, DD India.
Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake has declared a state of emergency to respond to the widespread devastation caused by Cyclone Ditwah. The death toll from Cyclone Ditwah rose to 153, with 191 people still missing. The Disaster Management Centre said that more than 774,000 people across all 25 districts have been affected, while over 100,000 are sheltered in 798 relief centres. As the death toll climbed to 123, with more casualties feared. Search and rescue operations are continuing despite heavy rain, damaged road networks, and prolonged disruptions to power and communication services. Continuing India's humanitarian assistance to Sri Lanka, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randeep Jaiswal in a post on X said, under Operation Sagar Bandhu, National Disaster Response Force personnel is in action in Sri Lanka, helping with rescue and relief efforts to evacuate stranded people. Earlier, India's support to Sri Lanka's disaster response intensified as 2 Indian Navy helicopters rescued 8 people trapped by severe flooding in Panala, part of ongoing emergency operations following the devastation caused by Cyclone Ditwah. At the moment, 4 Indian helicopters are currently deployed across Sri Lanka under Operation Sagar Bandhu, including 2 aircrafts operating from the Indian Navy's aircraft carrier INS Vikrant. The teams carried out multiple sorties in the Panala region, where rapidly rising floodwaters had cut off access to several homes. The rescued individuals were airlifted to safety and handed over to local authorities. India's air assets are working in close coordination with the Sri Lanka Air Force, Navy, Army, Police, and local first responders. Together, the agencies are conducting evacuations, supply drops, medical assistance, and other critical relief missions as flood-affected districts continue to battle the aftermath of Cyclone Ditwah. Meanwhile, Indian High Commission officials have been assisting stranded Indian passengers at the Bandaranaike airport in Colombo, providing them with food, water, and other assistance as severe air disruptions continue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the 60th edition of the All India Conference of Director Generals, Inspector Generals of Police in Raipur in Indian state of Chhattisgarh. On Saturday, the Prime Minister chaired the first day of the conference, where he remarked that the conference witnessed extensive deliberations on different aspects of India's security system. PM Modi underscored that this forum serves as a vital platform to share best practices and innovations in the field of national security. He also wrote on social media platform X, and I quote, "The first day of the DGP-IGP conference in Raipur witnessed extensive deliberations on different aspects of India's security system. This is a great forum to share best practices and innovations in this field," unquote. The winter session of India's Parliament is scheduled to begin on December 1st, running until December 19, 2025. Ahead of the session, the government will hold an all-party meeting on Sunday, where Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju will meet floor leaders from both houses to seek cooperation for smooth functioning of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Rijiju urged opposition parties to actively participate and contribute to the proceedings, aiming to create a vibrant parliamentary system. The session will cover several important legislations, including bills on nuclear energy, higher education, corporate law, and the securities market. It will also feature a full-day discussion on Vande Mataram to mark 150 years of the national song, highlighting the historical significance of verses removed in 1937 and their connection to the partition of India. The session will also see debates on contentious issues, including the voter list revision exercise in 9 states and union territories. The Kashi Tamil Sangamam 4.0 will formally commence with an inaugural function on 2nd December 2025 at Varanasi's Namo Ghat with the theme "Let us learn Tamil." Tamil Karkalam. The theme underscores the message that all Indian languages belong to one family. The first train left Kanyakumari with 45 delegates on Saturday and will reach on the 1st of December to Banaras. The initiative celebrates the civilizational links and timeless bonds between Tamil Nadu and Kashi. Over 1,500 delegates will participate in a series of knowledge-sharing sessions aimed at fostering deeper understanding of India's diverse cultural traditions. During the 8-day tour, participants from Tamil Nadu will explore Varanasi and nearby regions, including Prayagraj and Ayodhya, gaining immersive exposure to different facets of life in these cultural centers. They will also visit places of religious and historic significance. Today marks the birthday of Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose, born on 30th of November 1858, a man whose quiet genius lit up the invisible waves of radio and the silent pulse of plants. Bose bridged worlds no one dared connect before. DD India Sujata Loshab tells us more about his son of foil who made India think big in science. Let's take a look.
Jagdish Chandra Bose was one of the earliest modern Indian scientists, and his work brought together physics, biology and deep nationalism in a very quiet, powerful way. Jagdish Chandra Bose was born on 30th November 1858 in Myrmanching, now in Bangladesh, then part of the Bengal Presidency. His father, Bhagwan Chandra Bose, encouraged him to study in a Bengali medium school first so that he stayed rooted to his culture and language. Bose later studied in Kolkata, completed his BSc from St. Xavier's College, and then went to London and Cambridge to study natural sciences. In the 1890s, Bose carried out pioneering experiments on radio and microwave waves, demonstrating wireless transmission of signals over distance well before wireless became commercial. He was the first person to use semiconductor junctions as radio detectors, an approach recognized today as an early step towards modern solid-state electronics. For his work on wireless transmission, the University of London awarded him a Doctor of Science degree in 1896. Later, the global engineering body IEEE honored him as the father of radio and wireless communication. But Bose didn't stop at physics. He turned to living beings, especially plants, to ask whether life is unified across all organisms. He invented a device called the crescograph, which could measure tiny movements and growth in plants, things invisible to the naked eye. Through experiments that measured tiny electrical and mechanical responses, he showed that plants respond to stimuli like light, heat, chemicals, and injury, and that these responses have an electrical basis. Because of this pioneering work, he is often credited with showing that plants also have a kind of life response, changing how humans looked at the plant world. On his 60th birthday, 30th November 1917, Bose founded the Bose Institute in Kolkata, describing it as a place for advancing science and spreading knowledge. Bose was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in London, one of the highest honours in the world of science, making him one of the first Indians to enter that reputed circle. Government science agencies describe him as the founder of modern scientific research in India, noting that he laid the foundations of experimental science in the country. Today, the Government of India continues to celebrate Bose's work in radio science and plant physiology, and institutions under the Department of Science and Technology carry his name forward for new generations of scientists.
And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Migrants are stranded at a border crossing in Chile. Why? Stay tuned to know. In hockey, India versus Belgium in the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup final today. And in London, Christmas dog parade raises awareness for rescue pets.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Air India has successfully completed the reset on over 90% of its operating A320 family aircraft that were impacted by EASA and Airbus's requirement for a software realignment. Air India expects to cover the entire fleet within the timeline prescribed by EASA, with safety remaining our top priority. Rising to the occasion, the airline worked around the clock to ensure there were no cancellations and the impact on schedule integrity across the network was minimal. Meanwhile, the global airlines scrambled to fix a software glitch on Airbus A320 jets as a European plane maker halted hundreds of flights in Asia and Europe and threatened U.S. travel over the busiest weekend of the year. Several carriers on Saturday said they had finished or nearly completed the fix to their fleets. Many reported no impact on operations. The overnight effort by airlines appeared to help head off the worst-case scenario and capped the number of flight delays in Asia and Europe and the United States. A delegation of senior Ukrainian government officials is traveling to the U.S. for talks with their American counterparts on Sunday about a proposed peace plan to end the conflict in Ukraine. In his post on X, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that the Rustem Umerov, Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, will lead the delegation. He also added that the objective was to swiftly and substantively work out the steps needed to end the conflict. Umerov has been put in charge of the Ukrainian delegation after the previous lead negotiator, Zelensky's powerful chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, resigned on Friday, hours after anti-corruption detectives searched his apartment. While a U.S. official said U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and U.S. President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will meet Ukrainian officials on Sunday in Florida. President Emmanuel Macron will host his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday for talks in Paris, the French presidency announced. The two leaders will discuss the conditions for a just and lasting peace, said the official on Saturday, as a senior Ukrainian delegation headed to Washington. U.S. Navy vehicles patrolled southern Puerto Rico as the United States increased pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. President Donald Trump said the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela should be considered closed in its entirety. In a statement, Venezuela's government condemned Trump's comments, describing them as a colonialist threat against the South American country's sovereignty and incompatible with international law. The Trump administration has been weighing Venezuela-related options to combat what it has portrayed as Maduro's role in supplying illegal drugs that have killed Americans. The socialist Venezuelan president has denied having any links to the illegal drug trade. Trump has also authorized the covert CIA operations in the country. Migrants seeking passage through Peru remain stranded at a border crossing in Arica, Chile, as they attempt to leave the country following a Chilean presidential frontrunner's vow to expel undocumented migrants. On 20th of November, Chilean presidential candidate Jose Antonio warned that illegal migrants must leave in the coming months or they will be detained and expelled when he comes to power. The comment sparked the arrival of at least 100 foreigners, mostly Venezuelans, at the border seeking to cross into Peru. On its part, Peruvian President Jose Harry said the country will declare a state of emergency along its border with Chile. The state of emergency will generate tranquility before the risk of migrants entering without authorization. Chilean government authorities ruled out any change in migration flows at the northern border amid the tense situation resulting from Peru's decision to protect its border. Colombian authorities raised the alert level for the Puréis volcano from yellow to orange on Saturday following a surge in seismic activity and changes in volcanic behavior. However, the Colombian Geological Service said an eruption is not confirmed as imminent. Observations showed an increase in the frequency and energy of earthquakes, along with gas and ash emissions rising more than 1,000 meters. Officials continue to monitor the situation closely and urged nearby residents to remain alert. Puréis last experienced a major eruption in 1977, and since 1827, at least 14 smaller eruptions have been recorded, making it one of the most active volcanoes in the country. All right, let's see what's happening around the world. Thousands of military history fans from about 20 countries gathered in southern Czech Republic to reenact the Napoleonic Battle of Austerlitz on its 220th anniversary. The yearly event recalls one of the bloodiest moments of the campaign, where tens of thousands were killed in the battle. French-Lebanese writer Amin Maalouf received the 2025 Fayal Award for Literature in Romance Languages at the 39th Guadalajara International Book Fair in Guadalajara, Mexico. The Fayal jury recognized Maalouf's work, calling him as one of the most prominent contemporary French writers. Well, some sports news now. India returned to ODIs in Ranchi, looking for a fresh start after losing the Test Series 0-2. Injuries have forced another change in leadership, with KL Rahul taking charge and Shubman Gill ruled out. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli remain central to India's plans. South Africa entered the series with momentum and a near full-strength side despite Rabada's absence. More in this report.
India returned to limited overs cricket after a difficult few months in Test matches. 2 home series defeat, both whitewashers have raised questions. But now the focus shifts firmly to white ball cricket, and it all begins in Ranchi with the first ODI against South Africa. A new start with new challenges for Team India. India come into this series with injuries to both their captains, Shubman Gill, and vice-captain Shreyas Iyer. So it's Rahul who leads the side. India's last ODI series was in Australia, where they lost 1-2. The batting looked rusty, which was understandable because they were playing ODI cricket after nearly 9 months. But now the expectation is to produce a smoother and more confident display. As always, attention will be on legendary pair Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. They ended the Australia tour with a brilliant partnership, but Kohli still didn't look completely fluent. Rohit, on the other hand, looked in good touch. Jasasvi Jaiswal is likely to open the innings. Rahul could be at number 4, the slot typically occupied by Shreyas Iyer. This reshuffle opens the door for Rishabh Pant, who returns to ODI cricket for the first time since August 2024. But if Tilak Verma comes in, then the place of Pant in the playing 11 is also doubtful. All-rounder Ravindra Jadeja strengthens the middle order, while Nitish Reddy or Washington Sundar will likely feature as the additional batting option. Talking about South Africa, the Proteas too lost their most recent ODI series 1-2 in Pakistan, struggling on slow spinning pitches. But before that, they beat both Australia and England, which shows how strong and consistent this group has been. They shouldn't face the same difficulties in Indian conditions, especially in Ranchi, where the pitch is slow but not turning square. Quinton de Kock has returned in good form and will open with Adrian Markram. And most likely, Temba Bavuma can take his usual number 3 slot. Matthew Beatske may secure the number 4, and Dewald Brevis bring exciting firepower in the middle order. Ruben Herman and Marco Jensen are expected to follow though there is still a selection dilemma whether to include Real Rickelton or not. As Ranchi gets ready for exciting cricket, there is everything to play for: confidence, momentum, and an early lead in the 3-match series. Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
The Indian hockey team will face Belgium in the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup final in Ipoh city of Malaysia today. India entered the final in emphatic fashion after beating Canada by an overwhelming 14-3 scoreline in their final group stage match. Defender Jugraj Singh was India's leading scorer with 4 goals. And dozens of dogs dressed in colourful Christmas-themed outfits paraded through London on Saturday, bringing festive cheer while raising funds and awareness for 2 rescue dog charities. The event, now in its second year, shines a spotlight on the challenges rescue animals face and the need for greater global awareness. Have a look. Hope you enjoyed this beautiful video. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.